gentlemen, boys and girls, children of all ages, it's time!
Hello there, everyone. Welcome back to another edition of the My Two Cents podcast, presented by and hosted by G2. I am G2. This is episode 255 of the podcast, and I would like to start off by welcoming our first-time listeners and welcoming back our returning listeners to this program. And I would like to ask everybody, how are you guys doing? I'm knowing that this is Thanksgiving week. I'm hoping that everyone had a great to good week last week. If you did not, I'm hoping that this week that we're on now will be better for you. I'm hoping so because, well, they're saying now that a lot of people are traveling right now. A lot of people are trying to make their way to their loved ones or whoever they're going to spend Thanksgiving with. So I'm hoping that this week will be better for you than it was last week. I'm hoping that you guys don't get any type of skirmishes with people at these functions because Thanksgiving, again, you go around people that you either have seen or you haven't seen in some time, and things happen. I don't know whether people left the last time they mentioned these people on a good foot, or sometimes things have gone through people's lives, and people, you just don't know people anymore sometimes. So I'm hoping that this week will be better for people that didn't have a great week last week, but if you did, I'm hoping that momentum carries you into this week and you guys have a great week. The kids should be out by now for this Thanksgiving week. I'm hoping that you enjoy your kids or enjoy your siblings. And again, just enjoy your Thanksgiving week here. And also, I say this every Sunday and I'm going to say it here. Please do not overstress yourself out. Stress is a part of life, but please do not overstress yourself out. Please do not take other people's stress and add it onto your plate. Because when you do that, or when you just simply overstress yourself out, guess what happens? You start to deteriorate. Your body starts deteriorating. Your mental stability starts deteriorating. And I've said it and I'll say it again. Stress is a silent killer. I don't want that to be the case for people out here. I want people to enjoy themselves. I want people to deal with the amount of stress that you're supposed to deal with, whether it be you're trying to take care of certain things or you're just worried about things because certain people are just worrywarts. Take care of yourself and handle what you can handle. Okay? If you got a list of things to do, do not try to take care of all those things all at one time. Certain things will take days to do. Certain things will take a day to do. If you have a list, try to accomplish each thing a day at a time or 2 days at a time. You know what I mean? Don't overexert yourself, especially this week, because a lot of people are going to be doing the cooking this week. Because again, Thanksgiving, a lot of people usually do the whole big grand meals and stuff, which I'll get into a deal that's going to be happening Wednesday from Chipotle. I'll get into that in a minute. But please do not overexert yourself, even in the cooking process. All right? Don't do that. Enjoy yourself the best as you can. Deal with the right amount of stress, because that's what we all go through in life. We all have to deal with some stress, but deal with the appropriate amount and just try to handle yourself, okay? Now, with that said, let's move on to the National Food Days of the week. Today being November 23rd, it is Cashew Day as well as Espresso Day. November the 24th will be Sardines Day. November 25th will be Parfait Day. November 26th will be Cake Day. November 27th is Thanksgiving, so they have it up here, Bavarian Cream Pie Day, but I know people are going to be eating and stuffing their face usually with the usual suspects, the potatoes, your stuffing, your turkey, your cranberry sauce, all that stuff, so please enjoy yourself there. Myself, I'm just going to insert this here. I don't like turkey. Turkey is usually dry pieces of meat. I know people got their whole way of how you got to brine it and all this and that. Certain people fry it. I get it, but turkey, again, not my favorite meat, if you will, but enjoy what you can enjoy. I would say replace that with some type of chicken or something, but people say you eat chicken literally 365 days out of the year. Turkey's like the day before Thanksgiving. I get it, but to each his own. November 28th, French Toast Day. And then to round us out, November 29th, Rice Cake Day, Lemon Cream Pie Day, as well as Chocolates Day. Now, with that said, that's your National Food Days of the week. And before I do get you guys out of the food section here, I just made mention about how Chipotle is going to have you guys a deal for the day before Thanksgiving, because usually Tuesday, Wednesday, those are the cooking days, because again, it all depends on how big your family is or how big your gathering is, your feeding of people, and what your menu is. Wednesday, Chipotle is doing a buy one, get one. And this will start after 4 p.m. until your local Chipotle is going to be closing. And the thing is, it is limited to 5 free menu items per check. It is subject to availability. Each free item requires purchase of an entree item of greater or equal value. So in my mind, I'm taking it as you basically get 10 things, 5 you have to pay for, 5 will basically be free. That's if you do it that way. So 5 different transactions you can get. So essentially 10 items. And again, it's still buy one, get one. So please be notified of that one. I would say look into it if you have more questions about it. I bring this to you because, one, my mother told me about this and I wanted to bring this up to everyone that does the cooking for your family or for your gathering for Thanksgiving, because usually the person that usually preps it and cooks the meal, you're not really trying to cook for yourself or cook for your family on that Thanksgiving night, or the family isn't really trying to eat something big Thanksgiving night before Thanksgiving Day, because again, that's when you're supposed to stuff your face the next day. So Chipotle seems like a reasonable thing for people to get, or at least a nice substitute before the big feasting happens the next day. So that's what Chipotle has available for you guys the day before Thanksgiving. I would say check around other fast food locations to see if they have a deal going on as well. I just know about this because my mother brought this to me and I want to bring this out to you guys on this broadcast. So that's what's all going on with Chipotle. And with that, that is the last thing I do have to talk about in the food category. So now, moving out of the food category of this broadcast, I now have to move over into the condolence part of the broadcast. And the first condolence I do want to make mention is Jellybean Johnson, or real name, Gary George Johnson. He is best known for playing drums for Prince and being one of the founding members at the time. He passed away suddenly on Friday night. At the time, right now, his cause of death remains unknown. And this comes after he just celebrated his 69th birthday 2 days before. So the man died 2 days after celebrating his birthday. And me being immature, 69, not a bad age to go out of this planet. Because again, the number 69. Again, immature thing, but hey, it is what it is. Again, man, you just never know when you're going to be going off of this planet. I'm pretty sure this man didn't think he was going to leave this planet just 2 days after his birthday. But again, you don't know when your time's going to be called. You don't know when your ticket's going to be stamped and it's time for you to dip out. So please, once again, take advantage of every day that you are on this planet. Do not waste or squander any time on this planet. Be around people that you do enjoy. Try to just, whenever you do have the time, do a hobby, read something, just do something that you enjoy, whether it be being around people or doing an occupation that you do enjoy, something. Do that, because I don't want people to leave out of this earth having regrets or saying, man, I did all this without doing something that I actually did enjoy. You know what I mean? This man right here, he got to play with Prince. He got to be around the musical scene, where at the time you had the Whitney Houstons, the Michael Jackson, the Prince. I'm forgetting some other names back in that time, but just think about the names I just listed. Those were great musicians to be around in that era, and he got to be around that. So I guarantee you, he probably lived life to the fullest. He got to have some great memories. He didn't go out, I don't think, with some regrets. Again, that's just me. But again, I want people to live life to the fullest, and please just take every day with gratitude. Now, continuing with the condolence here, former NBA basketball player Rodney Rogers. He also passed away Friday as well. His wife would put out in a statement that Rogers died from natural causes related to a spinal cord injury he sustained in a 2008 ATV accident. So rest in peace to Rodney Rogers. The NBA will put out an official statement. They will say that the NBA family is deeply saddened by the passing of Rodney Rogers. Rodney earned the Sixth Man of the Year while playing for the Phoenix Suns and was a beloved teammate during his 12-year NBA career. He will be remembered not only for his achievements on the court, but also for the extraordinary resilience, courage, and generosity that he demonstrated throughout his life, qualities that inspired so many. We send our heartfelt condolences to Rodney's wife, Faye, and their family. So that was the NBA's statement on Mr. Rogers' death. And again, I want to say condolences to his wife, their family, and the teammates that did play with Mr. Rogers here. And I did not know anything about Mr. Rogers. I am not an avid basketball watcher. I do know the big stars in basketball, like the names and the Steph Currys, the LeBron James, the Michael Jordan, and Shaq, and all of them. I know like the names of the NBA, but all these other individuals, I have no idea who they are. Whenever they do pass, I do make it a point to give the condolences to these individuals because they did work their tails off to get into the NBA. Only a few select individuals get into the NBA, and I think whenever they do pass, you do have to give them their flowers and give them their condolences. So I do try to do that to the best of my abilities. And with this man right here, I am doing that because he had his career cut short. He had his career cut short in 2008 after he got injured in an ATV accident and he was paralyzed from the neck down. Well, not the neck down. They say shoulders down. So again, I think that's a travesty. I think that just when you read about that had to suck. I'm hoping that his years since then weren't bad. I know probably like the first year or two, he was probably living in negativity. Maybe, again, this is just me just speaking out loud and just thinking about it, because when you think about working your tail off to get to the NBA, you get there, you play 12 years, and for your career to be cut off and cut short because of an ATV accident, and then you're paralyzed from said thing, that would leave certain people in the dumps. And I'm hoping that that wasn't the case for this man. But again, we're living reality here. I'm hoping that he didn't live in that depression, that state of sadness for many years. Probably had 1 or 2 years probably, but then he was able to get out of that and live life at least on a half glass full mentality. That's what I am hoping for. But hey, it is what it is. But again, rest in peace to Rodney Rogers. Rest in peace to Jellybean Johnson. And again, condolences to their families, their friends, and people that knew these individuals. Now, moving on to condolence here, I do want to put a special note here for JFK's granddaughter, Tatiana Slossenberg. She would write up an essay in the New Yorker magazine, and she would talk about how she was diagnosed with cancer last year after she gave birth to her second child. The doctor would notice that her white blood cell count looked strange. They told her that she was diagnosed with acute myeloid leukemia, which is a rare mutation called eversion 3. She would go through several clinical trials, 2 transplants, and from her words in the essay, she said that her doctor told her he could keep her alive for a year, maybe. So right now she's still dealing with this cancer. She's still dealing with all of this, but she's living. And I'm hoping that she beats this cancer, because again, I don't like hearing that people got cancer. They only got some odd time to live. I think that, again, sometimes the doctors know what they're talking about. Sometimes they don't, but please do not take that as a death sentence. Please do not place that as a thing on your tombstone. I think people can beat it. I think people can outlive certain life expectations that the doctors are giving out to you. And I'm hoping that JFK's granddaughter is doing that, because the Kennedy family has been through a lot. Again, starting off with JFK, then going off to the brother. And I want to say there was one more Kennedy person that had an incident, I want to say a couple years ago, if I'm not mistaken, but I could be. Because I think I covered it. I think it had like a personal plane, something. I'm thinking. Don't hold me to that. But again, the Kennedy family has been through a lot. And now you add the granddaughter of JFK to that. That has to be heartbreaking. And again, for her to put that in the New Yorker magazine, writing that up, I think she just put that as a testimony for herself. And I think that's just something that someone strong and brave has to, and the courage to want to do, to put themselves out there and talk about themselves and what they have out there to the world. So I do give my well wishes to her and the Kennedy family. And I do want people that are dealing with cancer, dealing with any type of medical situation or physical ailment. I want everyone to beat their ailment, beat their situation, and to live a fulfilled life the best way that they can. So please, ladies and gentlemen, again, we're in the week of Thanksgiving. I want people to be thankful for what they do have, and please just don't take life for granted. Okay? Now, moving off of that, it's now time for me to get into the news. The first thing I do want to cover is something that ABC would write about. They would talk about 4 people injured in a shooting near a Christmas tree lighting ceremony, and this happened in North Carolina. Police would say that the shooting was between 2 suspects, and this happened at 7:30 on Friday, and the suspects, they knew each other. The first suspect is identified as 18-year-old Nazir Bostic. Bostic was shot during the incident, was taken to the hospital, and was listed in critical condition, according to the police. Authorities would also say that he faces multiple charges, including assault with a deadly weapon, and will be served an arrest warrant upon his release from the hospital. Now, the second suspect happens to be a juvenile, so they don't give a name, but they will also say he was also shot and is currently recovering in a hospital as he lies there in critical condition. Police also say that the suspect will be facing multiple charges, including assault with a deadly weapon. Another 17-year-old was identified as a third suspect and is facing criminal charges, including accessory after the fact and inciting a riot. They were not injured in the shooting, police said. So how? Okay. But they do say in total 4 people were shot or have gunshot wounds and were taken to the hospital. 3 of them being listed in critical condition and 1 is in stable condition. So the 2 shooters, critical condition. 1 person or the other 2 are more likely just bystanders. And I do want to say this for people. If you're going to these Christmas light ups, okay, or these Christmas parades, I would say please don't be around the big crowd whenever they do have these things, because usually that's whenever the shootings or bad incidents usually occur. I try to, whenever I do go to these events, I try to kind of be away from these situations at least a little bit, because even when I have an inkling or whenever something's about to happen, I try to tell my people that I'm around and say, hey, yo, we need to dip out of here. Or at least be some feet away. So if something does ring off, we at least can jet speed it right out of here. You know what I mean? So I do want this to be a cautionary thing for people out there, because people are doing the whole Christmas tree lighting, going to these big celebrations, big ceremonies, because again, that's somehow where idiots like to do stupid things. They go to these ceremonies and do it. Please be vigilant. Please be aware of what's your surroundings, and please try to be away from people. And before I get off of this, for people that do these situations, for people that are idiots, that have altercations with other people, the people that do shootouts or bring a gun and have an altercation with someone, I wish it was legal to bring back the shootouts, not shootouts, but like the standoffs between the person that you have a altercation with. You do the whole, hey, we're going to be away from people. I don't like you. You don't like me. I want to end you. You want to end me type deal. They move away from people. They make sure no one's around. They do the whole challenge like they used to do back in the old school Western movies, and even back in the England days as well, because they used to do it over there too. They do the whole back to back, walk a couple paces, turn around, pop type deal. I wish that stuff was legal here. I wish, because again, a lot of people wouldn't have the guts to take that, because if you are doing things like this and you have to do a shootout in a place that's surrounded by civilians, right? Just because you don't like someone, I would like for them to kind of like give them, I know people don't like to say the death penalty, but I would like to like give them something close to it. Like they go to trial, they get found guilty, they kind of got to get like popped in the leg, popped in the arm, somewhere that is not going to cause them to bleed out, but could possibly have them lose a limb to make them understand that, yo, you have to face the consequence for your action whenever you do stupid things like this. Again, shooting people around people, that's not cool. Shooting a person that you have a problem with around people that might end up getting shot because of your stupidity, not cool. There has to be a price for it. You have to pay a penance. So I'm hoping, and if I was, again, the guy that was running the third joint, I would gotta put that in play. I will bring shootouts back. And I'm talking about, again, the old Western style, where you do the whole thing away from people. And you do that if you have a problem with someone, instead of doing something like this. That's just me and my thoughts on it. Again, that's just me throwing it out there. But please, everyone go into these big situations or big ceremonies. Please be aware of your surroundings. Please be aware of the people that surround you. And just please be careful. That's all I can say to you about that. All right. Now, moving off of that, TSA. TSA is proposing charging people that don't have the real ID or their passport with them an $18 fee to get through security. They had proposed this on Thursday. TSA said it is launching a modernized alternative identification verification program for flyers who show up to TSA checkpoint without the real ID or passport to identify themselves. And it's going to cost you $18. Apparently, the fee will cover 10 days of travel, provided the individual can successfully verify the identity for each use, according to the proposal. Now, the thing that I have a question is, does this happen like on a concurrent basis? Let's say you don't have your passport, you didn't do the real ID business. You go there, you buy this thing, and again, it's supposed to cover you for 10 days of travel. You buy it on the 1st. Does this expire on the 10th? Or does this expire every time you go to the airport? So basically you got 10 days of going to the airport to use this. Like, I would like to know that if they're proposing this situation. Because if you buy this and it's only for 10 days, you got to then kind of like map out your trip. Because I don't think people want to constantly spend $18 going there and coming back if you happen to be at a location for 2 weeks or longer than that. I don't think people want to do that. I think that would be them looking at it like, are you serious right now? And again, this is just them trying to make people basically go and do the whole real ID situation. I hate it personally. I hate how we had to convert over to the real ID so you can even get into government buildings, and it's only adding like a star to your not passport, but your driver's license. I hate that personally. I don't understand why they did it. I think this is just a way for government to mess with you. And again, there's something deep and dark about it. I just don't know what it is yet. I'm waiting for someone probably to do some deeper digging into why we had to change our identification. And again, certain people didn't do it. Certain people still have their regular IDs. They just got to carry their passport if they go to government buildings, like your veteran affairs buildings. You got to carry your passport if you don't have the real ID. The airport, you got to have your passport if you don't have a real ID. There's probably other government buildings, but again, there's something with that whole real ID crap that I just don't rock with. But hey, I wasn't going to carry a passport. I'm not going to do that. So I was part of it. It is what it is. A lot of people are part of the whole real ID program. But if you don't want to do it and you don't want to carry a passport, Again, the TSA is proposing this. It's going to cost you $18. So please be on the lookout for that, and please be aware. Now, moving off of TSA, I do now want to talk about government, and it's not going to be a long thing. I'm not going to do my whole usual spiel that I do when I talk about government. I'm pretty sure everyone knows this by now. This podcast is not a political, based podcast here. I'm not a Republican. I'm not a Democrat. I don't believe in their viewpoints, both of their viewpoints. I believe in the basic viewpoints of just treating people right and doing what's fair for everyone, on this earth. I think that should be the viewpoint for everybody, but certain people don't. It is what it is. But yeah, I'm not going to spew propaganda for either party side. I'm just going to tell you my personal opinions on things. That's just me when I talk about government. So, yeah. What do I want to talk about here? Oh, yes. Trump has issued a 28-point plan for Ukraine and Russia right now. It has been stated that Trump has issued a deadline for Ukraine to accept this whole plan, and what's been issued in this whole peace deal, at least to our knowledge, is that Ukraine has to give up some territory over to Russia for this peace plan, right? And if they don't, it has been speculated that the U.S. will halt intelligence sharing and weapon supply to Ukraine if they reject the deal. That's what has been implied right now. And when this thing came out, I did not like that, because you got to think about this. When this invasion happened, it was Russia attacking Ukraine. It wasn't the other way around. It wasn't Ukraine attacking Russia. Ukraine is the victim here. So for this peace plan to go into practice, you are hitting the victim. You're telling the victim, hey, give your bully some of your land. And if you don't, we're going to give up helping you in your war that you didn't start, but the bully started. It doesn't make any sense at all, right? And I'm glad I wasn't the only person seeing it this way, because you had people in the European governments and even some Republican lawmakers here kind of going at Trump and saying, yo, you're kind of weighing too heavy in Russia's favor. And you got to remember, Russia is kind of Vladimir Putin's whole deal. Vladimir Putin and Trump, it's been speculated again, buddies, all that type of stuff. Again, that's above my pay grade. Hey, it is what it is if it is, right? It's been reported. I'll just say this. I'm glad that Republicans are standing up and saying, yo, don't do that. Don't try to force Ukraine to agree to this plan that you have for them. Don't do that. I'm glad that they are standing up for that, because it's wrong. It's completely wrong. Trump, when he was pressed on this on Saturday, he would say that this is not final. We like to get peace. It should have happened a long time ago. He didn't specify technically what changes were possible in this whole 28-point plan. I'm hoping that this isn't just word vomit from Trump. More than likely it probably is, but if he is thinking about recanting on making Ukraine essentially forced to agree to this 28-point plan, I'm happy about it. I'm hoping that he is going to renege if that's the case, and try to balance this deal out between Russia and Ukraine, because it should be a balanced out deal. It shouldn't be Ukraine have to give up land. It should be, Russia has to bomb off. Russia can't be just attacking Ukraine over nothing. Russia has to dip, and they have to leave them, because if not, America's going to get more involved in this. That should be the thing, because again, Ukraine didn't start this, bro. Russia started this thing. It's nasty work that we even hear. It's been lasting almost 4 years now. And I'm hoping that they do find some type of resolution, some type of middle ground, something. It needs to be. But yeah, that's what's going on so far, at least with Russia and Ukraine. Again, my love is still out there for people in Ukraine. My love is out there for people in Russia, because not all people in Russia want this crap to continue going on. I've said it before and I'll say it again. There's some Russian people over there in Russia that don't want this thing to happen. They want this thing to end. They want Russian military out of Ukraine and just back to where they need to be. Because I remember when I talked about this thing, whenever this started to happen, and then a year later, there were people in Russia that was literally evading the Russian government because they didn't want to be pulled from their home and being forced to go into their military because they didn't believe in this. And I feel there's still a lot of people in Russia like that now. And there's people that have lost their homes, lost their way of life over there in Ukraine, and that has to suck for them. And again, I don't want that to continue to happen. I want this thing to end. I know a lot of people do, and I'm hoping that they do, again, find some balance and come up with a deal soon, real soon for the Ukrainian people, personally. So that's one thing that I did want to make mention in government. Another thing that I want to make mention, apparently there's an outrage about nursing not being a professional degree. That's at least what's been talked about. The Independent would write up an article about it. They will say that nursing organizations are deeply concerned after their occupation has been excluded by definition as a professional degree by the Department of Education. They will say that this move has alarmed nursing organizations, which warned that limiting student nurses' access to funding threatens the very foundation of patient care. Trump's signature legislation, which was signed into law earlier this year, eliminates the Grad Plus loans used by many students to pay for grad school and puts a cap on the amount they can borrow. Under Trump's bill, only professional degree students are eligible for the higher loan limit of $200,000, while graduate students are capped at $100,000. Excluding nursing by definition as a professional degree effectively prices aspiring nurses out of their studies, campaigners warned. Okay, so the American Association of Colleges of Nursing is also calling for the Department of Education to reverse their decision. I'll just say this is above my pay grade. I don't go into that realm. I didn't go to school for nursing. I didn't know that there was a thing for that. I know you got to go to schooling to be a doctor and all that, like medical school and all that. I get that. Nursing, I would think you should too as well. But I mean, you got people that are CNAs that then go to like multi-years of like grad school and all that for nursing, and CNA work is technically nursing as well. I mean, CNAs, they go to people's homes, they take care of their patients, they have to look at them, make sure they're good and all of that. The only thing that's different from, I feel, a CNA worker and a nurse is that a CNA goes to people's house and does the traveling bit, while a nurse, they are stationary. They're at a hospital. That's wherever you see a nurse primarily at. There might be, and again, I might get talked to by my mom because she's does this stuff in the medical field. I'm pretty sure there are traveling nurses, but CNAs, they essentially does a nursing job. And again, CNAs don't go to nursing school like grad school, but for a nurse, the idea of a nurse, again, being a stationary location right next to a doctor, I can see them going to a grad school technically. So again, this is out of my field of depth, but I did want to make word and make known to people that apparently the people that are doing nursing and going for that degree, they're upset about it, in which they should, because nursing is, I feel, important to the medical field. I think everybody's position is important in the medical field. A doctor, nurse, CNA, every other profession is important to the medical field. For them to be cut by definition out of a professional degree, that's just crazy. But again, I don't know much more than that because again, that's not my field. So just want to alert people of that and what is going down and why people in the nursing field are pissed and upset about this. And again, I do hope that they do reverse this. So this does allow nursing students to get the money to continue on in their professional degree. So just want to throw it out there, let that be known. All right. Now with that, that's me getting out of government. I told you, it's not going to be long with that. Next up, I want to talk about something that CNA did report. They would say 4 guards have been sentenced in the brutal beating death of an incarcerated black man at a New York prison. In the article, they will write that the 4 prison guards involved in the death of the black man whose brutal beating at an upstate New York prison last year was captured on body-worn camera videos were each sentenced Friday to prison terms. The four had pleaded guilty in September, just 2 weeks before the start of the trial, for a group of guards accused in the death of Robert Brooks, who was pummeled while handcuffed at Mercy Correctional Facility on December 9th. The beating of a resisted 43-year-old man triggered outrage and calls for reform. Nicholas Azalon and Anthony Farnan, who both had faced a top charge of murder before pleading guilty to a lesser charge of first-degree manslaughter, each received 22 years terms. 2 more men charged with second-degree manslaughter also pleaded guilty. Michael Mushaw was sentenced to 3 to 9 years in prison, while David Walters got 2 years, 4 months to 7 years. So that's what the police officers got here, and I think all of them should have got way more harsher sentences, but I mean, again, they pleaded to it. They pleaded to lesser charges. I don't ever understand this. How do we, when you have it on video, because again, they said it was captured on body-worn camera videos, how do you guys even throw out plea bargains for these jerk-offs? I don't understand it, bro. I don't. I never ever understand whenever something is captured on video of a police brutality, you're beating on someone or you're trying to do something to someone, how you guys are able to throw out a plea agreement or a plea, like give them some type of plea bargain. I don't understand it. You guys have it on video. It is a slam dunk. I never ever get those type of things. Even whenever someone does something in a store, if their face isn't covered, you see them playing as Jane in their face. You see them robbing or seeing them doing something stupid, beating someone up. You have it slam dunk. What are we talking about here? What are we really doing here? I never ever get it, but I mean, hey, police officers, or shall I say lawyers and the process, the DA, they will do whatever they can to make sure they get a win. I'm always just startled whenever you always hear about a plea agreement has been made, whenever you got something on camera of them doing it, hook, line, and sinker. I mean, I'm always shocked by it, but I mean, it is what it is. But these police officers, I'm hoping that they enjoy their time in prison. That's all I can say about that. And yeah, justice will serve here. I'm sad that a man did die, obviously. But I'm hoping that the family did sue the police station. I'm hoping that the family did sue. I really do hope that, because again, they were on the officers, they were police officers. So I mean, I would feel that the family could have sued. Again, that's just my thought about it. But again, we'll wait and see if the family ever does sue. They probably did. It's just not coming to me right now if they did, but I'm hoping that they do sue. Speaking of a stupid idiot cop, if you guys remember, I did talk about this. I want to say either late last month or earlier this month, about a police officer in Baltimore. He was captured on video. He tried to run over someone. He was chasing down someone, because the video starts with him talking to this person, and I don't know what escalated it to it, but homeboy just got in this vehicle and tried to literally hit dude. I remember talking about this, right? At the time, the Baltimore police would say that they are investigating it. Homeboy was off of active duty. He was suspended. I believe they say he was with pay at first. No. He was suspended without pay. Okay? That's what was announced, right? Now, they have officially indicted that police officer, and I would say his name right here. Officer Robert Parks has been indicted. He's been charged with attempted murder, assault, and reckless driving and misconduct in office. Yeah. Duh. That's easy to say that. He should be charged with attempted murder. That's kind of easy. If you try to hit someone with a car and you're an officer, yeah, you're going to be charged. And also, again, it's on video. I don't know what we're doing, but again, the legal process has to happen. The mayor said that if convicted, the officer will be fired immediately in accordance with the law. Homeboy should be fired now. I'm not understanding how we're still allowing him technically to be an officer, even being charged with attempted murder, and you have it on camera. Again, it's still weird to me. They will say that the man that Parks was going after, he had a warrant for misdemeanor charge. Okay. Homeboy had a warrant for misdemeanor charge, so you mean to tell me you decided to try to run him over after you see him and you try to have a talk with him? You decide to get in your car and try to run him over. Okay, that's still weird, but okay, let's just run with that. They do say that if Parks is found guilty on all charges, he could be facing up to 65 years in prison. I'm hoping he is found on charges. I'm hoping that he is found guilty of all charges. I really do. I do, bro. Because there's no way. You see homeboy, you see him, you know that he is wanted for misdemeanor charges. You could just easily just call up your folks and say, hey, yo, homeboy is here. He doesn't want to come with me. I need assistance. And if he tries to run, you can say, hey, perp is running. And then you guys do what you guys got to do. Chase him down, find him, grab him. That's whenever you can say you had to tase homeboy if he was running, not shoot him. I never ever advocate for police to shoot someone, even if they're running. The only time you shoot someone is if they have a gun and they're trying to shoot you. The perp has to shoot you first if you are a police officer. They at least has to pull it out and try to at least shoot it in your direction. Then that's whenever you can pull out your gun and try to shoot them. If that does not happen, you have to use your taser, stun gun. You guys should at least know this by now because there's been too many casualties under police hands. It's so dumb. I don't understand how you guys haven't figured it out or changed that into the rule books. But again, I digress. This whole situation shouldn't be happening. This police officer should be fired because again, it's all on camera, but we're going to deal with that when the time comes. Again, he's been charged with attempted murder, assault, reckless driving, and misconduct in office. And again, I'm hoping that he does get found guilty on all charges here. I really do. Because again, that was just so dumb of him to try to run over this guy over a misdemeanor charge. It's so stupid, but hey, again, this is the world that we live in. Speaking of stupidity, I do want to give an update as well on, I believe this was something that I talked about on my Wednesday episode. If you didn't listen to Wednesday, I talked about a woman that was on a Chicago train and how she was lit on fire. And at the time, the man that did this, he was, not going to say wanted, but they were looking for him. You know what I mean? Apparently they got him. Associated Press would write up about it. They would say that a man accused of setting a woman on fire inside of a Chicago commuter train. They've got him. He was in court for Friday's hearing. And in Friday's hearing, they would confirm that he had a variety of court and law enforcement records dating back more than 30 years. The 50-year-old man, Lawrence Reed's frequent contact with police in and around Chicago. A judge agreed on Friday to keep Reed in jail pending trial on federal terrorism charge he faces in the train attack. I thought they should have got him on also attempted murder because when you light someone on fire, you're trying to kill them. So, I mean, again, that's to each his own. I'm glad that they did end up catching homeboy. I remember when they announced this on, I was watching ABC World News and they showed like the photos of homeboy. And I even said on Wednesday that I believe that he threw some type of like gasoline on her and lit her on fire, which they would say that he got gasoline hours before he went on the train. So that kind of confirmed that for me. Again, man, nothing should make people want to set people on fire. Nothing should make people want to do something stupid to someone else that could cause them to get in some type of legal trouble and also cause the person that you're in an argument with terrible pain. Nothing should do that. And if you happen to do something stupid like this, lighting someone on fire because of you and that person had a dispute, you gotta go. You gotta get booked. You gotta get cuffed. And again, I'm thinking that this is on video because they got still photos of it. And I'm pretty sure they got still photos of him lighting a woman on fire, which they'll probably bring out in trial. But yeah, man, I'm glad that they did catch homeboy. And again, you do something stupid, you got to pay the penance. You got to get clapped for that. Not clapped as in like the street way, but legally terms. Like throw the book at him. You know that it has to happen. And speaking of something that has to happen, sadly, we had an incident in Las Vegas. There was an incident this week that was a road rage incident that has been seen all around social media. It's went viral. There's been a man shooting at another man, and instead of hitting him, he ended up shooting the man's stepson. In this video, you see, it seems that it's body camera footage, right? You see a man talking to the officer. He is upset. He is telling the officer that he shot my son. My son's in the back. He's dead. And you just see the guy walking up to the officer, the alleged shooter, walking up to him and saying to the officer, "Yeah, I did that, man. I didn't know there was a kid in there." And I'm going to say this right now. Again, you should not do something so idiotic that can cause you and another person in so much pain. I know, again, we are living in a real crazy time right now. We're living in a real crazy age. And again, I still got one more story to talk about how crazy of age we're living in, where people are doing idiotic things. So hold on one second. There's too much stupidity going around. Road rage has been a tale of time. People have cut people off in the road. People have run up on people's bumper. People have done a lot of stupid things on the road that can cause road rage. Okay, that's something that happens every single day. There should not be a way that you have a gun in your car, and if you get into a situation with someone, that you decide to pull the tool out and start firing at that person in the car. Because you never ever know, one, who's inside that vehicle with them. Okay? Because in this incident, there was a boy in there, and you happen to shoot the boy, and the boy's dead. That's one. Two, you're on the road, stupid. Let's just assume that there's no boy inside the car. It's just that person driving the vehicle. You shoot him. That car is more likely going to hit other cars, causing accidents for other people, and you now have added more bodies onto that. And again, that just doesn't seem like the most reasonable action to me on road rage. When you're upset, someone cuts you off, someone does something stupid into your road. Yes, you yell at them inside your vehicle. You grip your steering wheel. You grit your teeth, all that stuff, the usual things to do. But you never ever pull a gun out, if you do have one in your vehicle, and shoot it. You don't. Because a lot of bad things can ultimately happen, and we had that here. I am sad that the boy did pass away. I am sad for the stepfather, because they did say that in the story that this was a stepfather was with his stepson, and if it wasn't, again, sometimes stepdads claim that it's their kid or whatever the case may be, but a child lost their life. It shouldn't have happened. Long story short, that boy still should be here. And it's all because of one idiot getting a gun and shooting at the dude. Now, the dude's name is Tyler Johns, the idiot that shot at the man. And it's just so dumb. It's dumb. He's now facing murder and gun charges. I will say this, he did take responsibility for it, because in the video, you see that homeboy just goes up to the officer. He doesn't try to plead with it, saying it wasn't me, or try to talk about what caused it. He just says, "I didn't know someone was in the car with him." That's all he says. He takes responsibility for it, and he just didn't know someone else was in the car. It was dumb. It was dumb, bro. Completely dumb. A boy lost his life because of you getting into a road rager with that other man who had a child in the car with him. That was so dumb. This is what I mean. Ladies and gentlemen, please be careful of yourself out there. Please be safe as you're out there transporting yourself, whether you're on a train, airport, or even in a car. Please be safe, because again, you don't know what people are truly dealing with, and you don't know how much people might be short on the fuse, and it just might pop You know what I mean? So please, ladies and gentlemen, be careful out there. And also, if you are driving, please be careful of the people out there that's on the roads with you. Because again, you don't know what type of short temper they might have or idiotic tendencies they might do. And again, I just don't want people to lose lives over a road rage, especially during this holiday week. So please be careful out there, okay? Now, moving off of that stupid incident that should have been avoided and could have been avoided, on to the last incident that could have been avoided and should have been avoided. This is something that took viral this week. There was a video of a woman that's pregnant walking with her son, and she was attacked by a group of kids. And this happened in Chicago. There's been outrage from that community. Apparently this was on the south side of Chicago. People are upset by this, which I think you should be. Because if you are pregnant and you're walking with your kids and a group of kids happen to just come around you and start talking about you, talking about your kids. And again, this is all videotape, by the way, because again, it went viral. And they got them calling them names and taunting them. And then they get basically beat up by this group of kids. And they said these are like, I want to say preteens or early teens, possibly, because he doesn't really give the names out for them. But you see people upset by this. You see that community upset by this. And apparently now there's been talks that the kids and possibly the parents of the kids that did this incident and this attack on the mother and her kids, they're going to be facing some type of charges. It has not been confirmed yet, at least from my understanding, but I'm hoping so. I'm hoping that's the case because it seems to me now we are literally in a day and age where people don't understand that you can't be doing that to people. You can't. You can't be attacking a pregnant woman who's walking with her children, right? You can't be doing that. I don't care if you're 10, 11, 9, you know someone's pregnant. You know what's going down with that. You know that a woman has a child in them. And by the way, if you see the video, it's clear as day you know that that woman's pregnant. It's not something like, it's not like an incognito type of hiding situation. No, you see it. And it just doesn't make sense how you guys do this. And not only do you do this, you guys are idiots to have it recording. You guys have a group of people. There's phones around. There are just filming this. That is dumb on top of dumb. First of all, this incident shouldn't be happening. But also, if you're doing this incident, which you should not be doing, you guys are recording yourself do it. Like, you just gotta be smart. First of all, not to do it, but you gotta be smart not to have yourself be recorded doing it. And again, I'm not advertising to do that. I want to say that again. I'm not advertising for anyone to do something so idiotic like this, aka attacking a pregnant woman and her kids. Made that perfectly clear. But I'm just saying, you guys got to stop. You kids with the internet, you kids that got to have your phones up in the air, phones up recording just anything and everything, try to make it into content or just want to keep it on your phone. You guys are keeping incriminating stuff on your phone and then you guys put it out there on the internet. What do you guys think is going to happen? The cops just don't work on the streets. They work online as well. They watch things. And if it gets enough traction, which, by the way, this incident got enough traction, best believe the cops will be coming at your door. The cops are going to be wanting to come at you. Because I'm going to say this right now. If this woman has the miscarriage, and again, I don't know if she did or didn't. Right now, there has not been no reports of the woman miscarriaging after this accident, or not even gonna say accident, after this incident. If she happened to have miscarried, you guys do know that could have been a charge on you guys, right? Like a big heavy charge, right? And I don't understand why these kids don't know that. It's probably because of poor parenting. And that's another reason why I'm hoping that if what is true, if what is said to be true, of them going to go after the kids and going to go after the parents, I'm hoping so. Because there's something wrong there. Now, do I think every kid that's bad happened to have bad family lives? No. You just sometimes have a bad egg. You could teach the kid and raise the kid up right and good, just straight up. And sometimes that kid just happens to be rebellious and just be a complete idiot. And then there's sometimes, which we always say this would probably be the consensus, you have people that come from bad homes. Their parents and or siblings aren't looking after them like that. They're probably being treated wrong at said home. And then they just got to come to the school, try to take their anger out on someone at the school because they can't do it at home. That's usually what is attached to a kid that's bad, right? And again, man, I just hope that that woman didn't miscarriage, one. And then two, I'm hoping that they do, again, charge these kids. Because there has to be a type of situation to be put. There has to be some type of laying of the law down here. There should be. And just how I said there needs to be a situation like if someone happens to do a shooting in a public area at a big ceremony, I think for this, when the kids do get charged, and if they do, there has to be a beating of tail. They have to get their butt beat, bro. There has to be some type of consequence where a child has to be punished, where they get their butt tore up by their parents, or if not by the parents, because I was just about to say by the community, but then I'm thought to myself like, nope, can't allow the community to do that. There's too many weirdos out here like that. Nope, but the parents have to beat the kid's butt. And also the parents, they got to pay a heavy fine or something. They got to, because that was your kid. That was your seed that did this. And it all depends on if you, because the community knows who the kids are. The community knows if they have a good family life or not. And if they have a bad family life, yes, you have to pay the penance for that and everything like that. And if they have a good family life, I think the family still has to pay a penance for it. But I think that that family is going to be putting a real strong chokehold on that kid once they get done with that, or even before they pay it out. Because boy, that's going to be a rude awakening. You know what I mean? But again, this is another thing that was just stupid that shouldn't have happened. People are, again, I want people to look after themselves, look after their kids. I want people not to be in any type of situation like this. And this extends out to the kids as well. I want the kids to stop being stupid. Be smarter. Okay? Don't do anything like these idiots did over here. And again, U.S. parents, if you don't know about this incident, look it up, sit your kids down, have them watch, not say watch this incident, but tell them about the incident and tell them how they're supposed to be, act and behave, not do anything stupid like this. And if you are an older sibling listening to this, try to sit down with your younger siblings and talk to them, tell them not to do anything stupid that will cause shame and embarrassment to the family. Because I think that's what's missing with a lot of kids too. A lot of kids don't have shame or embarrassment. And I think that needs to be brought back personally. Because I remember, boy, disappointing your family, bringing shame upon your family, that crap would weigh on me and mine. And I just don't think a lot of kids have that anymore. I don't. But again, man, we'll see what happens when more details have been brought up about this. I'll bring it back to this broadcast and I will talk about it. Now, is there anything else I want to talk about before I get off of this broadcast and send you guys about your way? If you guys are in the reality TV business, you guys do know, or if you didn't know, Jen Shaw, the housewife from Real Life, tongue-tied, Real Housewife of Potomac, she is being released. She, if I'm not mistaken, she was charged with some type of fraud, and if I'm not mistaken, she was sentenced to like 6 years in prison. She did about 2.5, 3 years of that. And now she's coming out because of good behavior and also doing the programs there. So she's getting out after essentially doing half of her time inside of prison. She'll be getting out in December. I'm happy for her. Again, she did her time. And also this should let people know that there is a such thing as good behavior. I know people in legal systems, they say people don't get out on good behavior. That's bullcrap. Especially if they're on television, they get out with good behavior. They get certain things that a lot of you regular people don't get. All right. Especially when it comes down to them doing like a fraud charge or something like that, tax evasion, they get special stuff for them. Don't ever believe the hype of them saying they're never going to get out on special privilege or something. No, that's happening. It's truly happening. And again, I'm just happy that she did her time. I'm hoping that she learned from this, but I do know she's going to get a big bag from Bravo from whenever she gets back. There's no way that she's not, because the scene every time whenever someone is, again, a reality TV star, they go to prison or they have a big hubbub and it captures national news, best believe they get a big contract, or they at least get a big bonus to talk about it and kind of like capitalize it off for their television station of which they're on, or the network, if you will, to talk about it. So I can see that happening for Jenna Shaw there. But again, that's the only thing in entertainment that I do have to bring about here. So with that said, now it's time for me to get you guys out of here. I would like to thank everyone for listening to the broadcast today. I would like to thank all the podcasting sites for throwing this episode out there. I want to thank Apple, Amazon, Podbeam, Spotify, iHeart, all the other podcasting sites out there that you're listening to this podcast on. I would like to thank them, because without them, I wouldn't be able to get this podcast out to you guys, the downloaders and listeners. So I'd like to thank them. But I would also like to thank you guys, the downloaders and listeners, because without you guys, I'll just be one guy talking into a mic, into a void. And I'm glad to know that this podcast does get picked up and listened to, not only for people in the United States, but also people around the world. I am happy about that. And I am glad that you guys decided to listen to me, because you guys could be doing anything in the world, listening to anybody out there, whether you're in your car, in the headphones, and at the gym, or just walking, taking a stroll. Or you could be listening while you're cooking something. Again, you're listening to me some way, somehow. I appreciate it. That's what I'm trying to get to you guys. I truly do appreciate every single one of you guys. I mean that from the bottom of my heart. Okay? Now, with that being said, always remember,
I love you, I love you, I love you. I love you, I love you, I love you.
that is not a gimmick. I really, once again, appreciate every single one of you guys. I want everyone to please enjoy this weekend. Well, the rest of your weekend, but enjoy this week that you guys got. Enjoy the kids, enjoy the people that's coming over to your home, enjoy the visitors, enjoy the people that you haven't seen in some time. Make calls to people that you haven't talked to in some time, if you are on good standing with them. Don't just call the people that you have a bad standing and think it's going to change. No. Don't let that ruin your week. Please, for the love of God, don't do that. Call the people that you're in good standings with and just have a talk with them and wish them a good Thanksgiving week. You know what I mean? But please enjoy your week. Please enjoy yourself. Please enjoy the people that you're around, and just try to enjoy. Okay? Now, with me saying that, before I get into my usual outro, I'm not certain if I have my AEW Full Gear review up right now. I have no idea if I did it right now. It might be up, might not. If it's up, go listen to it. If it's not, you will be able to listen to it on Monday. Just want to put that out there because, again, AEW, they do long pay-per-views. If you are a professional wrestler watcher, you know this. So, again, I'm not certain if the review is up by now. If it is, enjoy it. Listen to what I have to say about it. But if not, you guys will be able to listen to it on Monday. I just want to put that as a precursor, just in case it's not up there. You know what I mean? But the schedule is going to be the schedule as per usual. It might change maybe, but the schedule for this podcast is Wednesday, you get a midweek breakdown episode out of me. Thursday and Saturday are both wrestling shows. If you happen to watch professional wrestling, to please tune into those two episodes and listen to what I got to say about wrestling on those two episodes. They're both drastically different, so you'll enjoy yourself there, maybe. But not maybe. You'll enjoy yourself. And then next Sunday, I'll be back again with another news topic related episode of the My Two Cents podcast. So there you go. So with that all being said, this has been My Two Cents podcast, presented by and hosted by G2. He is I and I am him. This isn't goodbye. This is until you hear from the sweet sounding voice again. And with that all being said, Kanye, could you please take these people home?
I'm tired, you tired, Jesus wept.